All right, so we are live on Zoom and via Facebook. We are here with Year Up program. We are super excited to have this conversation with you guys. I'm gonna give you all a couple of minutes to join us if you're maybe eating your lunch right now and you wanna tune in. I'm gonna give all of you guys just a few minutes to join us as we get ready for this very important conversation, closing the opportunity divide. We're so excited to have Europe with us. And I'm gonna go ahead and again, give you guys just a couple minutes to get on the call with us. Joining on the conversation. And at any point in time, if you feel like you wanna ask any questions, go ahead and ask questions in the comments and we will make sure that we will try to get to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much. If you're tuning in, please type in hello in the comment box. If you're tuning in, let us know that you are watching with us. Type hello. Again, we're super excited to have you. We're just giving a few minutes, just a couple minutes to get on the phone call. Here we go.
And give us some of those hearts if you're joining us, and so that we know that you are a part of us today.
Yes. Yes, awesome.
I love to see hearts pop up because that means that you're loving us.
Amazing. Okay.
Joining us
so
that we know that you are a part of us.
The echo.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our guest for today, which is Lacey Elmanje. And Lacey, we're so happy to have you, and Darlene Brown. They are representatives of the Year Up program. And you are probably asking yourself, what is Year Up and what all this has to do with closing the opportunity divide? I've never heard of Year Up in my life. So I'm going to start with Darlene. Darlene, give us a little bit of tell the audience, what is Year Up, a little bit of a history and how you were able to get involved in Year Up.
Yes, so thank you again, Tanya and Reginald, for inviting us to join you today on this topic and the discussion of closing the opportunity divide. So Year Up is an organization that is it was founded by our CEO, Gerald Shertavian, and Year Up started some time ago. And what it does, we support young adults and helping them by bridging that gap, and we're providing them skills that they need and experiences support them while on this journey through their internship. So they go through a 1 year, that's why it's called Year Up. So they go through 1 year program where they do 6 months of learning and development, and then they're getting these soft skills, they're getting experiences and things like that. While attending school at Miami-Dade College. And then they continue on to be a part of the program by doing an internship where we support them with finding them job opportunities through different organizations so that they can continue to learn and put these skills into action. So we're giving them meaningful career opportunities as well as higher education and placing them in organizations such as yours, Art Sarvers. And so it is, it's really an organization designed to bridge what we call the gap between talented young adults and careers. And so that's just like a little synopsis of what Year Up it does.
That's amazing.
And Lacey, if you like, you can kind of jump in and add something if there is anything else.
Yeah, thank you, Darlene. I mean, Year Up we're a national nonprofit. We've been around 20 years. Like Darlene mentioned, our CEO, Gerald Shertavian, founded Year Up. And the whole goal is to bridge we can talk about the opportunity divide as well. But the goal is to give an opportunity to talented, motivated young adults throughout our communities all over the US and provide them skills in professional development and hands-on work experience, and connect them to corporate America so they can reach their full potential.
That is amazing. And we honestly love the work that you guys do. And we love that you guys are a nonprofit in the community that is actually changing the community. I honestly believe that when you give the young people opportunities like Year Up is giving them, you are changing the scope of the community and you're changing the scope of literally the world, right? So we totally love that. And Arc Solvers is a cybersecurity IT company, which we also provide other IT services, in which we're here in the Miami local community. So if you're tuning in from other parts of the state, I am sure there is a Year Up representative there as well. But specifically here in Miami, we just really feel a strong sense as a small business to continue to pour into our community and continue to give back to our community. And the way Arc Solvers does that is by joining programs that are very credible with a high percentage of change, such as Year Up. So I just kind of want to, other questions regarding the Year Up program is, if it's for students, because there might be some parents that are watching that are in high school or they're graduating. So tell me, how do you get your students? Where do they come from and how do they get to find out about Year Up?
I can start.
Okay.
We are an adult ed. Typically our target age is 18 to 24. So usually the population of students within our program and our cohorts have graduated high school, but not yet graduated college.
Right.
They may be in their first semester. This is straight out of high school, or they may be on, the latter end of their associate's degree. But 18 to 24, there's different criteria that our admissions, our grade A team works hard, and goes to different high schools to recruit, and also through different other nonprofit partners that serve the same demographic of students that we're looking to provide this opportunity to, because the students that we serve typically lack access to the same opportunities as the majority of young adults in our communities. And so we target those students, we make sure that they know this opportunity exists, that the admissions team hears all the time, this is too good to be true. You mean to tell me this is free? You're going to train me, you're going to give me an internship. And then that's, if I do everything you say and I listen to your coaching and, work my program, then I'm going to get a good paying job. The average salary is $42,000 that these young adults are, once they go through internship and are converted, that's the average salary that they're going to be making. And we're talking, before we can talk about, success stories of students that I would ride the train with and the bus with that were making minimum wage or less than minimum wage. They program, they went through their internship and they're making $20 an hour. That changes the trajectory of their life and the generations coming after them, right? So it's a total game changer.
And I love that you said that you specifically target other nonprofits and a population of youth that lacks these types of opportunities. I love that because those are the ones that really need it the most, in these communities and neighborhoods. Let me just talk about the way we found out about Year Up, which I think is pretty interesting. Andre graduated from Turner Tech. Right. And is a
Many of our students come from Turner Tech.
Yes, we have a lot of them. Yes.
So he graduated from Turner Tech, and most of our, we always kind of get invited to go speak, to the technical department there. So Andre kind of said, hey, they want you to go judge the capstone. I don't know if you're familiar with their capstone program. Yes. Okay, great. So I went and I was a judge, and it was me and one of your other representatives who were, being a judge and
shout out to Barbara.
Oh yeah, yes. So we were there, and then she started to explain she started to explain the program to the student. And when she was explaining the program to the student, I was just in awe. Like I stopped completely doing what I was doing, and I was like, what is this? Where can I find this? Because I have youth in our family that we felt this was what was going to be such a great opportunity for them. So that's just how we started, communicating and talking. And then when she found out that we also owned a business, she started talking about the corporate side of things. And I was just really in awe of what you guys do in the community. And then I believe Lacey reached out to Andre later on about an internship opportunity. And I'm just going to push it now over to Andre so that he can explain how that process went and how we went about selecting an intern and all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I was very impressed because especially when in technology, we can always use help. There's always things that we want to be able to do in the office. And I also have a heart for giving back because I grew up in Miami Gardens, one of the poorest cities in Miami-Dade County at the time. And I was in different programs where somebody gave back. So that's always been in my heart, is to give back. I even moved my office back from downtown Miami to Miami Gardens because I want to have a presence here and I want to be able to help my community. So I was very impressed because from there we had, you guys kind of asked me what type of person we're looking for, someone on the tech side, business side. And then from there, we were able to meet our first intern. His name is Chris. And it was such an amazing experience. It came in early. That was like the first great impression. Then came in dressed business professional.
We can't even get our regular employees to come in.
Listen, send them to, yes, Europe will help to train.
Right.
Yeah, so no, it was amazing. And the support that we got from the beginning and the middle and the end, it was just like amazing, that whole process.
Yeah, and one thing we really enjoyed about Chris was just how polite he was. I mean, just how he was always on target, came very well presented, very well dressed. And, we don't expect interns to come in knowing everything, right? I mean, Absolutely. That's what they are. They're interns and they're relying on you, the corporate partner, to teach them. And but he made it so easy because he came so prepared. And I think that we want to give kudos to Europe because, like Darlene was saying, it's the training that you guys give them. And so can you guys both, Darlene and Lacey, talk a little bit about what that training looks like and what do the students have to go through?
Yeah, so I can talk about that. So so what they do is they come in, we call it L&D, which is learning and development. They come in and they go through this very rigorous training session where they take classes with Miami-Dade College on customer service, professional, how to, we teach them on how to become professional as far as how they dress. We talk about how to, even from down to a handshake. And so we have what they call Monday morning kickoff, and they come in and we give them these different skill sets on different topics on, digital footprints and what that means, and how to, engage with someone. And so they go through all of these training sessions with us. And then from that point, after they've completed the learning and development, they actually have to earn an internship. We don't give them, we tell them that we don't give you an internship. You earn this internship by meeting expectations, because something that we didn't mention from the beginning, they get a stipend, a very small stipend, which is to help them as they're going throughout this, internship and throughout the program. So they start out and they go through these training sessions where they have a coach who coaches them along the way on things that they should be expecting. Their professional, dress code, something that we talked about. And so they go through the program and then they earn an internship. And by earning the internship, that means they've met expectations and they're internship ready. They have to complete, they have to have a certain amount of points on their contract. And so they are on a contract. And so as they're going through this, they earn an internship, and then they go on an internship. And as they're on their internship, they have a coach, they have a mentor, because we team them up with a mentor to also help to continue that development with them. And they have a coach, they have an advocate, they have myself as their internship services manager. And we work very close with them to make sure that they are meeting the expectations of the partner, as well as what Europe expects from them. So they have core values that they have to uphold. And some of those core values are engage and embrace diversity, strive to learn, build trust and be honest. I'm trying to remember them all.
Be accountable.
Be accountable. One of my favorites, work hard and have fun. And so they're going through all of these core values to make sure that they are continuously learning and developing throughout this entire year. And so that is something that we hold them accountable for. This you earned this internship. Now you have to work hard to keep this internship, because after that there could be possibly an opportunity for you to get converted and get hired, but it's really up to you and how much work you put into it.
And I really like that, because like you mentioned, like Chris came ready, like, you know, now I'm realizing he was being trained for that, the handshakes and how to, how to act in the work environment, things like that. So I really appreciate that. It's just not a program that's like, hey, we found this kid, can you keep it for 6 months and do your best and let us know how it goes.
No, we put a lot of work into it.
A lot. I've worked for other organizations, and I've seen and engaged with other organizations. And when I came to Europe, that's definitely the secret sauce. There's many layers of support, high support, but also
high expectations.
High expectations. So like Andre said, we're not giving it to we're not just saying, hey, come here, here. They're earning their internship. They're coming dressed to a T. They know to be there early. Our executive director used to say on time is late, right? So all of these things that are things that our corporate partners are looking for in an employee, right?
Yes.
We're teaching them for 6 months. This isn't like a 2-week program and we hope these things stick. It's for 6 months. So we have a baseline to see kind of growth areas and progress. So the layers of support in this organization, the way Europe gets these young adults internship ready is like no other. I haven't seen any other organization be able to do that.
Absolutely.
So we've actually had other intern companies or people that have other interns approach us previously so that we can place interns here within ARC Solvers. And because of the type of business in which we're in which we all know security is very important, cybersecurity, the security of our clients is extremely important. People are dealing with, information that is just for our clients. So there's a level of trust, that it takes for a company like ours to bring in an intern. And we have not had the best experience with these other companies. I mean, they might show up for 1 or 2 days and then we don't see them anymore. So when we looked more into the Europe program and all the things that you guys offer, not just to the student, but to the corporate partners, we were so impressed. And we just love that we had such a great experience with the interns that we have here. So Lacey, going to the corporate partnerships, can you talk about what that looks like and how do you support corporate partners?
Sure. So everything Europe does is intentional. There's a method behind the madness. We've had 20 years to kind of perfect this program, and it's market-based, right? So we're not sending the students to classes just for the sake of taking classes. We're sending them to specific classes and tracks that meet the market demand. So there's a demand in this community for software developers, right? Or IT help desk, desktop support, as well as different areas of business students. So our business operations students are taking marketing, they're taking business principles, customer service and client support, accounting is huge, right? So based on the market, is kind of how we set up our training curriculum on the skill side. The professional development side is still, the Year Up secret sauce and the way we do things and the different themes of the week. But the technical aspect of it is to meet the needs of our corporate partners in the community. And so then my team, which is the corporate engagement team, engages with different corporate partners, finds out what their needs are, spreads the word about Year Up. I like to think we're a hidden secret sometimes, and I want to change that. Like, Year Up, like, get an intern. So then if I meet a corporate partner, or I identify a company that is trying to fill, roles that are Year Up related, I'll engage and I'll provide some information, and I'll really get their needs. Like, what are you looking for? What kind of skill set are you looking for? And see if it's a fit, because sometimes it's not, right? And then I kind of share more about our program. I kind of get the job description. I look and make sure we have a student with that skill set. And then we do a whole matching process, which we'll be doing later this afternoon, and match up the skill set of that student to that corporate partner for a 6-month internship.
Awesome. So can you tell us about some of your other corporate partners? Because I know that you guys don't just help small businesses like ours, but you guys have some amazing, huge partners. Can you tell us who they are?
Yes, we have so many, over 500 nationwide. Mm-hmm. We have from the giants, right? The big national partners that host interns in so we're in 18 markets and 34 sites nationwide, right? So that's a lot of coverage and
growing.
And so some partners like Bank of America, AT&T, JP Morgan Chase, American Express, GE Digital, those kind of really big names that we serve in this market in particular. But then also, so that accounts for, a certain percentage of the class, because every class, we know that those companies are looking for those interns because they use us as a pipeline of talent. It's just, hey, let's host an intern for 6 months and give them an experience, which sometimes that's the case. But I think with some of these larger corporations that we've had years and years to kind of perfect, they see it as a pipeline of talent. And we have conversion goals together and all sorts of things. So they use Year Up as a way. They start with intern, and then if all goes well and they work hard, which is most of the, 50 to 60% of the time, they'll get converted into that.
And I think it's just so awesome how you mentioned some of these large corporations like American Express. I know that Amazon is also one of your partners. GE, General Electric, and these are actually people that I've met in being involved in some of your programs that we've attended. And just to know that if you are part of the Year Up program and you graduate and you hold a successful internship, that you're going to get to be employed, I mean, straight out of this program into a national organization such as American Express or Amazon, in which you can not only move up in position, but you can also move around in country, because Amazon is everywhere, American Express has offices everywhere. So the opportunities are absolutely endless when it comes to partnering with a program like Year Up. And not only is the whole job skill and the getting the students ready for a career and the whole work-life balance, but one of the things that we did here that I want Andre to kind of talk a little bit more about, because he spent a little bit more time with Chris than I did, was the work-life balance, the life skills, the counsel and the advice that you're able to pour into these interns. So talk a little bit about your personal experience with Chris and also with William. And what were some of the things that you were able to share, not just as a boss or a business owner, but just as a man in the community?
Right, absolutely. So one of the things is that it was a one-on-one internship. So he was always, both Chris and William, they were always with me. And
they learn so much too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they look at you as their mentor.
Awesome. Yeah. So with Chris, he was from another county, so he didn't have a lot of family members in the area. So one of the things I did with him is like I showed up where he lived and said, "Hey, I'm here. Let's go get some ice cream." I'm out with my son. We went to go to the park. We played football together and played catch and things like that. So it really is just not about the 9 to 5 with the students. And then on the other with the other intern William, it was just a lot of life coaching, a lot of things like, hey, look, in the real world, and this is how you have to present yourself. This is how you have to act. So it was just not like, hey, here's a computer, read the manual, figure it out. If you have any questions, call me. It was really me coming over them and saying, how can I help you on the personal side, and what's going on in your personal side, and things like that.
And I know that Chris, we really wanted to keep him on board, and he had to move, but he knows that he can always call us for anything, whether it be referral letters, whatever he needs us to do, we're totally gonna back them both up,
Yes.
For their future endeavors in life. So that was just such an awesome opportunity. Darlene, I know that you what are some of the other programs that you provide for students and the corporate partners? I know that I've been to some of your panel discussions. So talk about those extra kind of like activities that you have with your students.
Yes. So the awesome part about Europe and being a part of this program is that you get an opportunity to invite individuals to join us for our panel discussions. So we have you come in and you be a part of a panel discussion to talk to the interns on, different topics. Then you also get the opportunity to join us for what we call the corporate anthropology presentations, where the interns present like their corporate culture, or they do like the business plans where they have to create a business plan. And we invite our corporate partners to come and join us at the business plan as judges, so they can sit and judge our students on an amazing job that they've done creating this business plan that they work so hard on, and they have to compete with their other colleagues. And so you have an opportunity to join us for those type of events. And then there's so many things that you guys are able to join us. Like I said before, being a mentor, you get to, engage with our young adults and becoming a mentor and spending quality time with them and doing things to continue to, groom them. It is a proven fact that being a part of Europe, you have the opportunity to develop not just you as a corporate partner, but the interns. So it's a win-win situation. And so being able to engage with our young adults on so many, levels is just amazing. And we always invite people to come in and be a guest speaker, come in and be facilitate one of our sessions. We have this topic and we want you to talk about it. And so it gives you that opportunity to continuously develop and grow with our young adults. So those are some of the things that we do with our young adults.
And that was one of the things that we enjoyed as well.
Yeah, I think to put the cherry on the top was the graduation part.
Yes, that's the most exciting part, right?
Yes, because it's like it's the journey. Because I came in and like to see like the video you guys had and the journey from the beginning to the end, and a lot of times depending on their circumstances and how they were raised up and things like that, and to put that cap and gown on, and for their parents to like cheer them on. And
listen, we make it big around here,
Work
we
hard,
hype it
have
up.
fun.
It's work hard, have fun. We hype everything up. So, I mean, one of my other favorite parts, and I'm sure you guys have seen the videos as well, the internship announcement. So, when they're getting ready to get announced to their internship, we have this big party and celebration because we want them to feel good about earning this opportunity. So we have an internship announcement, and we announce where they're going on to their corporate partner. And so they get all excited. We have pom-poms and whistleblowers and everything and music playing, and we're hyping it up because we want them to feel good about what they've earned and where they're going and how this journey is going to play out for them if they keep on that path to success. And so, this is so much that can be, brought into the thought of how this is a really, it's a full picture for them, and if they can see the bigger picture. We always say, you gotta see the bigger picture. And if you can see the bigger picture, you can see beyond where you are, your current state, and then you can keep going. And so it's just amazing.
Yes, and actually the cherry on the cake for me, even though I love the graduation, but I loved how you involved us in your classrooms
Yes.
and invited us to speak. Oh my gosh, like when we went to your class a couple of times and you invited us to be judges, it
Yes.
just gave us so much life. Like and I think we had to be there pretty early, like 8 o'clock in the morning
Yes.
on a
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
But that's how passionate we are about helping the community, that we will take a Saturday, at 8 o'clock in the morning and go into a classroom and help with the students and with their education. But that really gave us a lot of joy, to do that and to participate with your program. We were even able to talk about my nonprofit a little bit and what I
Yes.
do. So you really create not just a sense of community with your intern, but a sense of community with the Europe staff,
Yes.
and all of what you guys are doing. And I know that we have become friends within the process.
That's
So it
true.
also helps, again, building that trust and knowing that the corporate partners can trust to partner with someone like Europe. So Lacey, I want to talk to you. What does it take for a corporation or a business to partner with Europe? What does that process look like?
So we do our due diligence, right? We want to make sure that you have the roles, right, that our young adults can fill and not try to, force a fit or anything. So first, we want to make sure that that there's an opportunity there on both sides, right? And then we kind of do our vetting. We get a job description. We kind of explain how the program works. So I have a file that I share. It's called Not Your Average Intern, right? Because we're not your average internship. And actually, like we use this word internship, but really we're a career immersion program. We're not a 6-week summer internship and they're going back to the university, right? Because they're not, so they're looking to use this as an opportunity to get hands-on experience to lead them to that job, whether it be at that company they intern or another, partner in our network. And so I kind of really explained the ins and outs, like, hey, they're here for this many hours. This is a 6-month internship. This is what they have learned. This is what you can expect from them. This is what you can expect from me. And this is what we expect from you. And so if all that aligns and everybody's in order, then we move forward to matching an intern for that company. Like I said, we have large companies and then we have smaller companies. So it really just depends, but we definitely like to try to figure out, right, exactly what you're looking for. So if we partner with you with more than one intern at a time, that kind of helps us see a little bit better to the different profile of student. If we partner on multiple cycles, right, like you guys are on your second intern, we start to learn kind of a little bit more. But not every corporate partner is a Europe partner. Sometimes the support isn't there, right? And, that the intern might need. Sometimes they are requiring a higher, more middle skilled or medium, like a developer type level, right? And I'm like, no, these are entry level, they're junior. So we get all those details kind of fleshed out. And typically, I know it's a little bit different in your cases. Thankfully, we were able to work with our development team to cover that. But we also ask for a financial contribution from our corporate partners. So as a nonprofit, we invest in the young adults from the very beginning, right? And so once we get them trained up and internship ready and they're going to that internship for 6 months, most of our corporate partners are giving a financial contribution that basically funds that young adult's seat in that program, right, for that year. And so that's how we're able to be sustainable. And that's the majority of our revenue. And then the other half, of course, our fundraising, our corporate responsibility team that goes out there and raises money, working with different grants and things like that, right, that may cover internships for a small business or in tech or whatever the case may be. So
I know that you talked about grants, and Amazon just provided Europe a grant. So can you expand on that a little bit?
So that is at a national level, but I definitely shared the press release because everything on LinkedIn. So we're in a time right now that social injustice and the opportunity divide are at the forefront, right, of the media, of conversation. And that's something Europe's been working at over 20 years.
Yes.
So we've been doing this work every single day because it's important and we know it. And we need to give opportunity to our young adults that lack it, right, that are systematically oppressed from that. And so we've had different companies step up in partnership with us that have been longstanding partners and say, we support organizations like Year Up and others that actionably do something to solve this problem. And we also had Ken Frazier, CEO of Merck Company, on MSNBC, again, highlighting the partnership with Year Up as, hey, if you want to do something about it, here's one of the ways you can partner with Year Up. They've already trained these young adults, you know, for 6 months and got them internship ready. You have open jobs. Why not take an intern? And that's actually the whole premise behind the opportunity divide. There's 5 million young adults,
right,
are lack access to these corporations that have a need or to fill these jobs. And so Year Up bridges that gap. We get them ready. We get them up to standard internship ready for what those corporations need. And then we connect the two.
That's great. And tell us a little bit more about what does it mean, just so that the people that are out there that might not know, what does closing the opportunity divide mean? What is that? I know you shared a little bit, but can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, so the population we serve, right? There's 5 million young adults across this country that have graduated high school or have completed, you know, their high school or GED. They're ready and willing and want to work, right? But they lack the pathway to those corporations that say they have all of these unfilled jobs, right? And so it's how do we connect those two together?
yes,
So through Year Up is a way that we bridge that gap through this technical training that meets the market demand, right? Through the professional development that it takes for an employee to be successful in one of these corporations. And then talking to the corporations, what roles are you trying to fill? Oh, interesting, because we train for that. And we have a young adult that's going to be ready to go for a 6-month internship and that will work hard and be motivated and prove to you what value they can add to your organization. And we offer that pathway. So it's very high trust, but at least we start with that internship, right? So
right,
internship ready. They have that 6 months with that company. Usually, sometimes within the first month, they're like, can we hire them, right? It's like, hey, they're still developing, right? They're still developing. And then go into that job, right? That high paying job. So it's not just for the experience, as I mentioned, it's to get a career.
right,
And get career ready. And we go from minimum wage to meaningful career, right? And that breaks the cycle of poverty. That breaks the cycle, you know, a lot of lack of access, right? Once you can actually get that opportunity to make a living wage and take care of your family and pay your bills, that's going to change the next generation and the next generation. And that impacts the community, which is good for business. So it's good for everybody. To invest in our young people. And that's exactly what we do. And that's what our corporate partners do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that whole word investment, I can give you a quick funny example where with Chris, his task was to call a customer and get some information. So when I pick up the phone and dial the number, and sorry, Chris, if you're watching, but this is and he froze. You know, he wasn't able, oh my gosh, I have to actually speak to someone. So then you said, okay, you know what, let's take a step back. And actually then we practiced it. We practiced again. He, you know, went in front of the mirror, practice. And then little by little, and even in that 6 months, even though he didn't stay with us, but now he's able to take that. And when he now gets
absolutely
where he is now, I mean, this is just going to be so great. And the same thing with William. It was the, you know, the speaking the and as you go, you're just correcting them, because when they go to that job interview and when they go in the real world, they're going to be competing with a lot of other people, and like someone needs to be there, because they're not teaching it in school, unfortunately, but someone needs to be there to let them know, look, this is how it is in the real world. This is how you got to do it. And I know that what they learned with us in that, you know, year time frame, they're going to be able to excel so much more now.
Yeah, I think sometimes in corporate America, which I've been able to work in other corporations, when hiring new employees, sometimes we really think that they should come in knowing, right? Knowing everything, knowing it all. Especially if you're fresh out of college, you know, or, oh, they should know how to do this. What do you mean they should know how to answer the phone? And believe it or not, I was never taught that in high school. You know, I was never taught how to speak to a customer or customer service. I actually had to have bosses and managers and supervisors that would pour into me on a more personal level, you know, and say, hey, this is the way, you know, you communicate with a client or a customer. Or companies that had amazing training programs. I'm going to just be flat out there. I worked for an amazing company called Camden, which they had their own Camden University program. And you had to go through that university program to be completely trained in their, not just their work, but in their culture. So, you know, finding corporations that invest in employees and they invest in students such as Europe, I find it so much more investing in those types of companies, because I know that they truly are doing something to close that opportunity divide, because they want to give everyone a fair chance and a fair opportunity. So that is great. Darlene, if a parent is watching us, how can they, and they say, oh my gosh, I want my child, he just graduated college. I know that we've seen like hundreds of kids, you know, that just recently graduated college. How can they, who do they contact? How can they get their kids signed up to Europe?
Well, what they can do is log on to yearup.org, and they can find out all the information they would like. And if they are on this site and they're just listening in, feel free to tag myself, Darlene Brown, or Lacey Almich, and we will be glad to give them additional information. And if they're not able to find out what they're looking for, they can call us and we will talk to them and we'll walk them through the process, because we want to make sure that every young adult that is that needs something like this is able to get it. And something I wrote down that Gerald said, because it is so true, and I want to share that if I may. He said, one of his quotes, I am hopeful we'll build a country that sees the potential and inherit in all our young people, not just the ones that are the right, quote unquote, zip codes, right? So it's not about your zip code, but if you are the right fit for this organization, we want to make sure that you get placed and you're a part of this organization. So please log on to yearup.org and you can get as much information. And if you're not able to, please feel free to send me a message and I'll be glad to assist you.
And if you are listening, tuning in via live, and first of all, we want to thank you for tuning in, spending some of your lunchtime with us. We're actually ARC Solvers, Cybersecurity and IT Services. And I know that we mentioned that you're partners with, you know, other large organizations, but don't underestimate us small businesses,
That's right.
local small businesses. I know that Chris would always come back and say that his classmates were jealous that he was with us, because we got to take him, well, actually Andre got to take him to all of our clients, and he got to see just a lot of different parts of Miami. He got to do hands-on work, you know, and go into like super luxurious, you know, buildings that he would have never had the opportunity to walk into. So we were just so excited. Now, Lacey, before the call, we were talking about something new that you guys were doing to prepare these interns to work in the new normal of remote work. Talk about that.
Yeah, so it's still in development, but the future, right? So COVID-19, it's still out there, right? It's still affecting us, has affected a lot of businesses, including our organization. We had to move our young adults to a completely virtual platform, and so that's
Yes.
changed the way we operate in the space moving forward. Currently, right now, we have 70 plus young adults that have been in our learning and development phase since January, have done all their classes, are doing their, their learning and development, their training, and are expecting, to go to internship and be ready by the end of July. So I think I want to highlight that first, because I definitely want to put out a call to action to our companies, our corporate partners, our businesses and organizations out there that have the bandwidth to host one of our Year Up interns. They're trained in software development. They're trained in IT help desk, desktop support, as well as those different aspects of business. And so just like many organizations, we have corporate partners. That's what we rely on. And some have unfortunately been hit really hard during this time.
Yes.
To the point where they cannot keep their commitment to bring on our intern cycle because they're having to lay off their own employees. Right. So my call would be to the Miami community, to those companies that do have a bandwidth, that do have the capacity to host Year Up interns in those areas, to please reach out to us, and I can share my information to reach out to me directly. My email is lelmange@yearup.org, and I can drop it in the chat too, but it's LELMANGE at yearup.org. I would be happy to have the conversation, explore synergies, and see if there's an opportunity to partner. But moving forward, we will be looking at a more virtual type environment, right? Currently, the old model, we were on Miami-Dade College, one of the two campuses, either Wolfson or North, every day of the week. So that's going to be a lot different moving forward, right? It's going to be more virtual, but that also expands the footprint and the opportunity for the corporations to get access to this talent, because there's also a good business case, right? It makes good business sense to host a Year Up intern and hire Year Up talent. You're doing a good thing, right? You're helping your community, you're making an impact, you're giving this young person an opportunity, but you're also saving costs on turnover. And when our young adults are converted, they stay an average of 45 months at your company. And we're talking 18 to 24-year-olds, right? That's unheard of. Usually they're 2 years tops, right? And then, so it's a good investment up front, and it's also lower cost than bringing on a full-time employee. So there's also that good business case, and you're actually impacting your community, right, at the same time. But moving forward, we will, even with this class, where a lot of them will have virtual training or virtual internships. So even if you're not in the Miami area and you have the opportunity to host an intern virtually, please reach out and let's explore those opportunities and work together to close this opportunity divide, and at the same time get you a great, hard, motivated worker.
Yes. And we promise you they will be trained and ready to go.
Yes, they will.
Well, we are excited to continue to partner with you guys because it is a partnership. I mean, you guys have helped us. We've helped the intern. The intern has helped us. I mean, so it really just is an all-around partnership with you guys. We love it. And just to the viewers, to let you know that we have seen the outcome of this organization. We have seen they can give you, we can sit here and they can probably give you stats after stats. I know in Miami, Lacey said that they've helped over 700 youth just in the Miami location. So they have a proven track record of success. And when you go to one of these Year Up graduations that we were talking about, they even put where they will be employed. So you go to the graduation, you see them graduate, but then you also know where these people will now begin to work immediately after graduation. So we are just so impressed with you guys. We love you guys, whatever we can do to continue to help. And if you are a business owner, a CEO, any kind of decision maker in your company, and you want to have Year Up send one of their interns, or you just want to maybe entertain the conversation, we have dropped the emails below on the comments so that you can reach out to Lacey. If you are a parent and you said, I have never heard of Year Up, I never had heard of Year Up, but you're hearing about it now and you want to know how your kids can get involved in the Year Up program, please contact Darlene. Her information is also there in the comments. And if you have any questions, have we had any questions from the audience?
Yeah. How much? So this one is related to how much time do you have to spend with the intern? So I'll answer that one. So one of the things that when I was with the interns is I thought outside the box. I was like, what is it in my office that I need to get done? I've been wanting to get done. My team has been wanting to get done, but we just haven't had enough hands to do it. And at the same time, we can then also help the intern learn something. So we had tons and tons of software upgrades that we needed to do. So one of the things I showed with William, with the intern, was, okay, let me show you this quoting software. So I sat there and I showed him how the quoting software works, what type of products they are. And then from there, I says, okay, now you're gonna make some sales calls. You're gonna email it. And then I showed him the process of how you do it. You first, develop the quote, you send the quote, you do an email, you do a follow-up call, and then you close the deal. So I would think to answer that question, yes, you're definitely gonna have to have one-on-one time with the intern, but they're young kids, they're smart. Once you show them what needs to be done and you make it clear to them, and then you let them at it. And that was and we were able to close a lot of sales. And again, it's just one of those things that we always wanted to do, but I just didn't have the time to do it. And William definitely helped me out with that. And now he can take that to his next place where he says, yeah, I've done over 100 sales calls and I've been hung up on. I know how it feels. I'm not afraid to say no. I know how to come back if someone says, it's too expensive. So because we went through that whole sales process.
Right. And I know that you guys also make it easy. You guys send out, Lacey, do you want to talk about that? How you guys send out periodically things for the supervisors to fill out and all that?
Yeah, we're a research-based organization, right? Like I said, everything's very intentional. There's a reason for it. You have me as a support, as your, corporate engagement point of contact. Darlene and Lordiana, who's on our internship services team, that's another source of support, right? So they're working with the interns one-on-one on a regular basis. They come back on Wednesday afternoons and continue their development, right? Like Darlene mentioned, the corporate profile presentations. So they're still learning as they're in internship and still developing, right? To get to that graduation point. And then on our side, we want to make sure we're meeting your needs. So I'll check in with you guys every once in a while and say, hey, is everything good? Do we have any feedback? We're a feedback culture. Nobody's going to learn anything and grow unless there's feedback, right? But they also need to know what they're doing well. And so it's not unusual for a Year Up intern on a weekly basis to ask their manager for feedback or ask for a one-on-one. And then as an organization, we have a research team that sends out a performance review survey. And we do it kind of, in the first half, just to get a gauge on where everything is. And there's, all different questions that the managers answer. And then we send another one, right? And then we look at that feedback, we evaluate it, we implement any modifications that we need to, or address the feedback. And then there's another one sent out towards the end of internship. And we hope to see growth or continue learning, right? And that helps us learn our partners' needs and styles and the different touch points or the different areas that we need to work on or that we're doing really well. So everything is definitely research-based, and the managers get touch points from us. Of course, we always, for my busy managers, I try to leave them alone, but I'm like, hey, can you fill out the survey? And then of course, those opportunities to continue to engage in the classes in different ways. We host site tours. Now yes. Virtual coffee, virtual tours with employers. And so if you've never met a Year Up intern or you've never seen a Year Up student, or, it's hard to visualize, come see for yourself, we will invite you to one of our sessions. You can observe, you can be involved, you can host an info session with your company. A lot of times our corporate partners are fighting for our talent, right? And they're like, hey, we want to make sure we get some interns over here. So they'll host different info sessions, talk about the roles in the companies, and our young adults are always sharp, motivated, ready with questions, engaging. It's not like you're going to lecture, a regular college class where the students are, half engaged. No, they're sitting up. We teach them posture and everything, and they really want to hear what you have to say, and they want to engage with you. And I think once we usually have a classroom visit, the interns advocate for themselves in the way they show their personal and professional brand and their Europe brand.
Well, one question that I have here is on my end is this free for the student? How does that work out for the student?
Is it free for them?
Right.
Doesn't cost them anything but commitment. It only costs them commitment. That is all it costs.
Wow.
They get a stipend to be a part of the program, and that stipend is not a large stipend. It's just to to assist them if they have small commitments and things like that, because mind you, being a part of the program requires you to be engaged and stay engaged throughout the entire time. So it's a commitment for 1 year. So some of them work part-time between those hours where they are committed to Year Up, because they have classes with Year Up. And so they have a set schedule. And so they know that they have to be in class during a certain period of time. So it only costs them commitment. That is all. And giving of themselves. And so we work with them very closely to make sure that they are meeting those expectations. And for those who struggle and don't meet expectations because they're on a contract, we have what they call an EPIC plan. And it's something like one of those, where if you are, you're not meeting expectations, your manager has to put you on a performance, some type of performance plan. We put that in place just to continue to support them and to make sure that they're staying on task and doing whatever it takes for them to finish strong. So they have a lot of support.
That's amazing that this is a free program for our youth that need it the most.
That's one of the barriers.
Right, absolutely.
Yes.
Financial, it's a huge barrier.
Absolutely.
So the fact that you guys are providing this free to students and young adults is just incredible. Another question that I have is, where else in the state of Florida is Year Up? So where else in the state of Florida are you guys able to help students?
They're in Tampa. They're in Jacksonville, right?
Jacksonville.
Those are our two.
Tampa, Jacksonville, and in South Florida are our Florida sites. With this new virtual model that may open up, right? Yeah. I know it's definitely going to open up on the employer side. So that might open up. I'm not sure, but. And then also, it depends on the demand of the community. If we have corporate partners stepping up saying, I'll invest in this program and I'll host interns and use this as a pipeline of talent, we'll come to your community if it
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah.
Especially by us being virtual, it opens up the door to other opportunities.
That's a great point. So again, I just kind of I can't stress it out enough. If you have a company, a CEO, or business owner, or if you're a parent, please get in with Year Up. Contact them, go to their website, yearup.org, to learn more about what this amazing organization is doing. And if you are sitting back and asking yourself, what can I do during these unsettling times to make a change? This is it. I mean, this is it. Get involved with Year Up. They are making a difference. They are taking the action that needs to be taken to make sure that lives are being changed, not just in the moment, but it's one thing to give someone a plate of food one time, and it's another thing to teach them how to feed themselves forever.
Absolutely.
And I believe that that is something that Europe is doing. So if you're one of those people, if you are part of a nonprofit, I know that I have a lot of nonprofit friends that are tuning in and they're watching, and you're looking for opportunities on how to help the youth in the community that your nonprofit serves, partner up with Europe. Because that's what they do. They partner up with with nonprofits as well to serve their local community and the youth. So there's definitely opportunity to take action, and take action now to make sure that when we wake up in 10, 15, 20 years, we're waking up to a better world and to a better society.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming and being
Thank
part
you.
of this amazing organization. And we hope that you guys, the audience, enjoy this. If you enjoy this, please click like or type in "love this." We want to hear more discussions like this, and we will definitely make sure that we'll bring you more information like this in the future. All right, you guys. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.